Hey everybody, today we're going to be learning about order of operations, otherwise known as PEMDAS or BEDMAS. Let's get started. So what exactly is an order of operations and why is it important? Let's take a look at the following example. 2 plus 3 times 4. We have two operations in this expression. We have an addition as well as a multiplication. Does the order in which we perform these operations make a difference? Let's evaluate this expression two ways to find out what the difference is. In the first expression, we'll evaluate the expression from left to right. And so what is 2 plus 3? Well, that's going to give us 5. Multiplied by 4, our final answer is going to be 20. Now, what happens when we evaluate the same expression from right to left? Well, let's find out. So 3 times 4 is going to give us 12, plus 2 is going to give us 15. So as you can see, our right side and our left side are not equal. This means that the order which we perform these operations made a big difference. And so this is why we have an order of operations in the first place. When we write an expression or an equation, we want it to equal the same result no matter who does it and when. And that's why it's important to have an order of operations that everybody agrees on and everybody uses. PEMDAS and BEDMAS are two acronyms that are used to help students memorize the order of operations. Let's break down every component of PEMDAS. So P stands for parentheses and brackets. Parentheses and brackets are the curved or square lines that you sometimes see encapsulating or grouping certain terms together. Note that when there's only a single term located within a pair of brackets, you can effectively remove those brackets from your equation or expression. Exponents are the small numbers that you see sometimes located on the top right-hand corner of terms or brackets. Exponents represent repeated multiplication. So if I have 3 raised to the power of 2, I'm effectively multiplying 2 3's together. Similarly, if I have 4 raised to the power of 7, I have 4 multiplied by 7 instances of itself. You can imagine multiplication as having a group of something. With multiplication, you are replicating or duplicating that group of something by your second term. And so for this example, 3 times 4, you have a group of 3 objects, and you are multiplying it by 4 groups. And so our final answer here would be 12. And for division, it's the opposite of multiplication. You have a big group of something, and you are dividing it into smaller groups. And so 12 divided by 4 would equal 3. And so you have 12 units of something, but you're going to divide it into 4 groups. And each group is going to have 3 objects inside of it. With addition, we're adding 2 values together. And so if we have 3 plus 7, we're just adding these 2 terms together. With subtraction, we're taking one thing away from another. If we have 10 apples and we eat 7 of them, we're left with 3. And so each of these operations want to be performed in a specific order. And when we take a look at PEMDAS or BEDMAS, the top priority goes to the P, and last priority goes to the A and the S. And same with BEDMAS. Let's go through this example together to see exactly what we're talking about. So the first thing that we have to evaluate is anything inside a set of parentheses or brackets. And so do you see any parentheses, any curly brackets, or any square brackets anywhere in this expression? Well, there's a pair of parentheses right here. So inside the parentheses, we have 3 multiplied by 4. And so if we go ahead and evaluate that, our new expression is going to look something like this. And so we've gone ahead and completed everything that we need to inside our parentheses. Next, let's take a look at exponents. Are there any exponents in our expression? Well, there is. There's this superscripted 2 in the top right-hand corner of this 12. And remember that when we only have a single term inside of a set of parentheses or brackets, we can remove the brackets. And so the next operation that we need to perform is 12 to the power of 2. Remember that exponentiation is the same as repeated multiplication. 12 to the power of 2 is actually 12 multiplied by 12. And so our new expression looks like this. Now, how about multiplication and division? Do we see any multiplication or division in our expression? Well, there's this division sign here. And so what we need to do is we need to perform this division with the 2 terms that are directly to the left and the right of our division operator. And so 144 divided by 2 is 72. And let's write in the rest of our expression. So we've completed our multiplication and division. All that we need to do is addition and subtraction. Are there any addition or subtraction operators in this expression? Well, there are. We have one addition and we have one subtraction. But which one do we do first? Notice that addition and subtraction are on the same level here of priority. One does not take precedence over the other. The best practice is to go from left to right for addition and subtraction, as well as multiplication and division. We always want to be going from left to right. And so let's go ahead and do our addition first and then our subtraction. So what is 2 plus 72? Well, that's 74 minus 5. That's going to give us 69. And so 69 is our final answer. Let's go through some more examples. Here we have the expression 8 minus 4 divided by 2. Let's go through our process together. Do we have any parentheses or brackets? Not in this example. How about exponents? No exponents here. Multiplication or division? Yes, there is some division involved in this expression. And so let's go ahead and do that now. So 4 divided by 2 is going to be equal to 2. We have 2 subtracted from 8. And so our final answer is going to be equal to 6. Let's try another example using BEDMAS. So this time we have 4 plus 3 multiplied by 2. Do we have any brackets or parentheses in this equation? Well, no. Do we have any exponents? Nope. Do we have any division or multiplication operators? We do. And so we go ahead and we perform that first. 3 multiplied by 2. 3 multiplied by 2 is equal to 6. And so we'll substitute 6 in place of 3 times 2. We've checked our equation for multiplication and division, and we've completed all of our multiplication and division operators. The last thing we have to check for is addition and subtraction. We have one addition operator here, so let's go ahead and carry out 4 plus 6 is equal to 10, which is our final answer. Let's try another example. What is 12 times 6 divided by 3 times 2? From here on out, I'll be using PEMDAS. The first thing we need to check for is parentheses and brackets. We have none. There are also no exponents in our equation. The next thing we have to check is for multiplication and division operators. And so as you'll see, we have 1, 2, 3 multiplication or division operators. As we know, we want to go from left to right when we're working with operators within the same tier. And when I say tier, we have the first tier, the second tier, the third tier, and the fourth tier. So the left to right rule only relates to the third and fourth tiers, as multiplication and division are on the same level, and addition and subtraction are on the same level, but a different one from multiplication and division. Let's go ahead and carry out our multiplication and division from left to right. So 12 multiplied by 6. So 12 multiplied by 6 is going to give us 72, divided by 3, times 2. We've completed this operation 12 times 6, and the product has replaced 12 times 6 in our equation. The next operation we have to perform is 72 divided by 3. And 72 divided by 3, 24. And so 24 times 2 is what remains of our equation. The last thing we have to do is evaluate 24 multiplied by 2. And once we do that, we get 48, which is our final answer. How about this example? 20 minus 4 times 3 divided by 2. Let's go through our process together. There are no parentheses or brackets in this example. There are no exponents. In terms of multiplication and division, there are two operators. We have a multiplication operator here and a division operator here. Which one do we do first? Well, remember that we want to go from left to right whenever we're faced with two operators from the same tier. And since multiplication and division are in the same tier and they both come before addition or subtraction, we're going to go ahead and do the multiplication first before the division, as it's the furthest left and we are traveling to the right-hand side. So let's go ahead and carry out 4 times 3. And so 4 times 3 is going to be equal to 12 divided by 2. Do we have any multiplication or division operators left? Well, yes, we do. And so when we divide 12 by 2, we get 6. And the final operation that we have to carry out for this equation is 20 minus 6, and that's going to give us our final answer, 14. Let's try another example. Here we have 2 to the power of 3 plus 4 to the power of 2. Are there any parentheses or brackets in this equation? Nope. Are there any exponents in this expression? Yes, there are. And so let's go ahead and evaluate these exponents. So 2 to the power of 3 is the same as 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, because our coefficient 2 is being multiplied by itself 3 times. Likewise, we have the coefficient 4 multiplied by itself 2 times. And so this is what our equation looks like when it's broken down in terms of multiplication. Let's go ahead and move on to our next step, which is multiplication or division. Do we have any multiplication or division here? Well, yes, we do. This dot is representative of multiplication just as much as the x that we're used to. So let's go ahead and carry out our multiplication. 2 times 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8, plus 4 times 4 is 16. And so our final answer, after resolving our addition operator here, is going to give us 24. What happens when we have a set of brackets inside of another set of brackets? In this case, you want to ignore everything outside of the innermost bracket, and you want to solve for the innermost bracket with PEMDAS first. As far as this most inner bracket is concerned, are there any parentheses or brackets inside? No. Are there any exponents here? No. Any multiplication or division? No. It's only addition or subtraction. And so after carrying out our addition, we're left with the sum of 7. And so we have to go through PEMDAS again. Are there any parentheses inside these innermost brackets? No, there are not. There are no exponents. There's only one operator, and it happens to be multiplication. And so, what is 2 times 7? 2 times 7, it equals 14. And since 14 is the only term inside these brackets, we can remove them. And so, let's go through PEMDAS a third time. Any parentheses? Nope. Any exponents? Well, yes, there is an exponent here. So let's go ahead and evaluate. 2 to the power of 2. 2 to the power of 2 is the same as 2 multiplied by 2, and so we get 4 plus 14 is our new equation. There are no instances of multiplication or division here. The last thing we have to do is add 4 to 14, which is 18, our final answer. What happens when we have more than one set of brackets in the same question? Well, in this case, we would follow the same left to right rule that we use for operators in the same tier of PEMDAS or BEDMAS. When two brackets are of the same tier, meaning that one set of brackets is not inside of the other, we simply want to solve from left to right. As far as this first or leftmost bracket is involved, do we have any parentheses or brackets inside? Nope, we're good. Any exponents? We're good for those. Any multiplication or division? Not this time. Any addition or subtraction? There's only one operator here, and it's addition, and so 2 plus 4 can be written as 6. And since 6 is the only term in this set of brackets, the brackets can be removed. We have 6 multiplied by 2 plus 1 in brackets. And so after going through PEMDAS again, are there any parentheses in this equation? Well, there are. It's 2 plus 1. And within these brackets, are there any more brackets? No. Any exponents? No. No multiplication or division. And in terms of addition or subtraction, there's only one operator. And so we'll go ahead and we'll solve 2 plus 1, which equals 3. And since 3 is the only term inside of our brackets, we'll remove those. And we're left with 6 times 3 as our final equation. And once we resolve this multiplication operator, we're left with 18, which is our final answer. For the final example of this video, let's combine everything that we've learned so far. This example might look scary, but let's break it down and work through it together. In terms of parentheses and brackets, we want to start with the innermost brackets first. Since we want to work with our inner brackets first, and we have two sets of inner brackets, we want to work from left to right where our inner brackets are concerned. So let's go ahead and start with this first inner bracket. So within this inner bracket, are there any more sets of brackets or parentheses inside? No, there are not. Are there any exponents in this first bracket? Well, there are. We have 2 to the power of 3, which is equal to 2 times 2 times 2, plus 4. So we've converted our exponents into multiplication operators. And so what is 2 times 2 times 2? Well, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. And so we have 8 plus 4, which equals 12. And so the final value of our first bracket here is 12. So let's go ahead and replace this first bracket with our result. Let's rewrite everything. And let's repeat our process. We still have one inner bracket remaining from our initial assessment. So let's go ahead and solve for the result of this inner bracket. Well, we don't have any additional sets of brackets inside the one we're working. We don't have any exponents. All we have are two operators, one division and one for multiplication. So since multiplication and division are on the same tier in PEMDAS, we go from left to right. And so what is 15 divided by 3? 15 divided by 3 is equal to 5. Multiplied by 2, well, that is going to be equal to 10. Let's go ahead and rewrite our expression to reflect this. Let's go ahead and continue evaluating. Do we have any parentheses or brackets? Well, yes, we do. We have two sets of brackets. this first set and this second set back here. Do we have any brackets embedded within these brackets? Well, no, we don't. And so since these two brackets are on the same level, we just have to resolve them from left to right. Times 10. And so we have 12 times 10 times 10. And so this is going to be equal to 120 times 10. This is going to be equal to 1200. And so we can replace this entire bracket with 1200. Our last set of parentheses has only one operator in it, and it's addition. And so our expression can be reduced to 1200 divided by 4, which is equal to 300. And so 300 is our final answer. Great work, everybody. If you followed along this far, congratulations. You are that much closer to mastering the order of operations. Like and subscribe if you found the video useful, and share it with somebody who you think might find it useful as well. Comment what you'd like to see next or what I can improve. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.